was fit and captained a side which included neither of the two Soviet internationalists. For Sparta, a good young side captained by Nemeček, their international midfield player, and with a very, very good player indeed in number 7, Nemec. The commentator is Jock Brown.
And the Czechs not at all confident about the prospects of overcoming the Scottish champions, who are looking for their 13th success, or 13th attempt at the European Champions Cup, looking for the first success in 13 attempts. That's for Haustrap, challenged by Horniak. And the free kick this time goes to Rangers. So another chance for Haustra to play it short to McCoist. That's a brilliant turn by McCoist. It's great play by McCoist, and Haitley was in the way. Handball claimed by McCoist, and his shot comes back off Brabets. But some fine play there, inspired by McCoist for Rangers as Sparta break. And Nisbet did well, stopping the progress of Siegel. It was delightful play by McCoy, spinning on the ball there, checking inside the next man, trying to shot at goal, which Haitley appeared to block. So a very encouraging start for Rangers. An excellent pass, picks out Nemec on the left. Friedeck has provided the angle on the near side. The right foot crossed, looking for Czerny. It's helped on to Horniak. Haustra did well for Rangers. Waiting now for some help, using Robertson and Spackman. So it's back now with Richard Goff. Some whistling coming from the Sparta supporters, some cheerful chanting from the Rangers fans, and nothing cheerful about that challenge by Vrabets. That's a second bad challenge in as many minutes on McCoist. And Vrabets is going to be in trouble here with the referee. There's great concern in the Rangers bench about McCoist. A word of warning appears to be enough for the Czech player. That's a desperate tackle by Vrabets. So the stretch going on. David Odds and Jim Bell taking it on, and Ian Durant has appeared to the dugout to warm up. Well, what a savage blow this would be to Rangers if McCoist were to be seriously injured. And he's going to go off, at least for the moment. David Odds having a chat there with McCoist. He started the match so promisingly, McCoist. Rangers will want to keep him involved if at all possible. And there's Nisbet stepping in on Nemec. Earnest discussions going on below us involving Walter Smith and Nelly McCoist. It looks as though McCoist will resume. Czerny is well tackled by Spackman. Evans to Nisbet. Brabets. Across it comes to Nemeček. Well, he was pressurised all the way there by Nigel Spackman. That was good defending by Spackman. Nemeček seeing the chance to come striding forward. Have a shot at goal. It wasn't Brabets, it was Nemeček, the captain. And while all that's been going on, Ali McCoist has returned to the match. Good running by Nemec. Meester gets the better of Robertson. Here's Nemec again. And that's found the net. Gorham beat it at the near post. Nemec has scored for Sparta in the 20th minute of the match. Well, jubilation among the Sparta supporters and players. Look at this delightful chip over the head of Gorham, in at the far post, and the keeper could do nothing about that. Oh, what a savage blow to Rangers. You'll see this again, Goff facing Nemec. There could have been an offside flag in the mind of Spackman, but Nisbet played everyone on. But in any event, Gorham could never have reached that. Well, joy for these Sparta supporters. Rangers appear to be coping very comfortably with Sparta until that point. But the goal from Nemets has put a new complexion on the match. Good play there by Goff. Horniak forcing it forward for Meester. And Ferguson showing lots of determination there, but so too did Meester. And there's an angry exchange there. Ferguson's in trouble. Yellow card for Ferguson. Well, he reacted very angrily to having his jersey pulled and being wrestled with for that ball over there. And Meester is on the ground, showing the referee the damage to his abdomen. Well, here was the exchange. Ferguson going in very high indeed there on Meester, and really the referee showing a yellow card, and that will be to the relief, I'm sure, of Rangers. The referee's already shown his indulgence by his failure to book Vrabets for the challenge on McCoist earlier on. Nemecek. Nemets again. This is dangerous for Rangers. And Gorham at full stretch to turn that over. Well, the two internationals in midfield for Sparta, Nemets and Nemecek, combining brilliantly there to set up an opening. And if Rangers had any doubts before the match about the quality of the opposition they were facing, they've been dispelled well and truly now. This man Nemets has been at the heart of everything for Sparta. Sparta themselves will be concerned about the possibility of conceding a goal here. Joyce almost reached that pass from Nemets. Subko. Nemets has gone roaming again. Meester. Nemets. That's beautifully played in. There's no one coming in the far post, but it was delightful play again by Yuri Nemets. So skillful on both sides, whether he's on the right foot or the left. He's deadly with these little jinking runs and passes. Vrabets this time doing the marking on Haitley. Vrabets going in behind the Rangers centre forward and conceding a free kick. Once again, Gary Stevens confused by the referee's signal. He thought it was a throw. Let's aim for Haitley again. This time he wins it cleanly. And Koba is there. He dropped the ball the first time. The referee inevitably has given a free kick as Haustruck came in to challenge. Look at the way he got to that. Ahead of his marker, Subko. It's beyond the sweeper. Novotny, in goes Haustra. Well, there didn't appear to be a great deal in that. Koba gathered the ball at the second attempt. Good running there by Ferguson. Novotny read that well, though. Here's Stevens. Now Spackman. Breaks kindly for Rangers. Stevens again. Trying to use his pace, and that was read well by Nemets. Corner kick's been given. A challenge made by Stevens on Nemets. Nemets clearly thought he was fouled by Stevens. That's why he's complaining to the Austrian linesman. Goff has joined the attack. So has Nisbet. Goff heads it across. Up goes Nisbet. And Koba, the goalkeeper, did very well indeed once again for Sparta. The Stevens and Haustra. On the ground this time it is for McCoist. Ferguson's cross, perhaps too long in the air, allowing Koba to check that that's going harmlessly behind. Well, promising play there from Rangers. That corner kick from Haustra. A long, deep one, which Goff won brilliantly. And Nisbet went up looking for a head flick beyond the keeper, who did very well indeed. So the Rangers fans looking somewhat concerned, as well they might at this stage, as referee Forsting out brings the first half to an end. A minute of additional time played at the end of the first half, but Rangers, who started so well in the match, with Annie McCoist looking so enterprising up front, going behind to that superb goal from Nemets in 20 minutes. And from that point on, it's Sparta who have been in control, and these indeed are currently troubled times for Rangers. At half-time, it's Sparta 1, Rangers 0. So Rangers are unchanged for the second half. It looks as though Ian Ferguson remains on the right side of midfield, with Stuart McCall in the left centre of midfield. And I've no doubt there'll be close consideration given to the fitness of Ali McCoist at half-time, following that very heavy tackle he took from Vrabets early in the match. But he's out running without any trace of a limp at this stage. As Friedek tries to break on the left with Czerny, beaten to the ball by Goff. So back to Andy Gorham, and Rangers were looking for the same kind of composed start to the second half that they had in the first. Chinox leaning out there with Davy Dodds on his left. Head flick on from Haitley, finds McCoist. That's for Haitley again, his left foot. That's a good effort. Swerving in towards the goalkeeper. Well, Haitley had one snap chance in the first half on his right foot. That was set up for him by his interchange with Ali McCoist, and the left foot shot could easily have troubled a lesser goalkeeper. Off with Czerny, two internationals together. McCall to Spackman. This is Durant. Dwelling on the ball too long. Durant still taking time to find his feet in this match. Nemecek and Nemec together again. Here's Nemecek. Rangers have resisted the temptation to go man for man on these players in the middle of the field. Nemecek may come forward here for a shot at goal, but Siegel offers himself ahead. This is Horniak. No problem on that occasion for Andy Gorham, who watched that very carefully indeed. The Rangers dugout, clearly concerned. Davy Dodds. Here's Richard Gough. Robertson back to Gough. Novotny comes across. Robertson looking up to try to select the pass. Haitley lays that off for McCoist. Determined play by Novotny. He was very sharp indeed getting to that ball. Enjoys these runs forward from his sweeper roll. There's Siegel. Easing himself away from Gough. Help now by Czerny. And Friedeck is offside. No relief there for Rangers. A fine move again. Created by the Czechs. And some very contented Sparta supporters inside the stadium. This is Durant. Nisbet is good, storming forward on the right. Offering an option for Durant. There's Houstra. An awkward shot that, bouncing just in front of the keeper, but he showed himself equal to the task. This is Spackman. McCoy holding off Horniak. Good running by Stevens. This is promising for Rangers. Pulling the ball back, and the Sparta defence equal to that task. Sopko and Nemec bringing it out. Sopko to Nemec. Space to exploit on the break. Good running there by Czerny and Siegel, the twin strikers. A stumble by Gough. Here's Siegel setting it up there for Nemecek, and a great interception by David Robertson. Easter gets away from Durant. So skillful in possession, this youngster. It's across to Nemec. Rabets. Well, a disappointing end to some promising play from the Czech champions. Stevens to Durant again. And the crunching tackle came from Brabets. Clock ticking on, 12 minutes remaining of the match. No question now, the Rangers appear to be encouraged about the prospect of an away goal. Good play by Haitley, forcing the tackle from Sopko. So corner kick once again. This is a good comeback by Rangers. They've taken much more of a grip on the play in the middle of the field. So Durant's corner. Headed away by Siegel to Spackman. Fine pass, picks out Durant at the corner flag, onside. Up goes Haitley. Got to that well and scrambled away by Horniak. McCoy holds his head there in his hands, and there's relief on the Sparta bench. Well, what a difference that would have made for Rangers. Set up by Spackman's pass across to Durant. Durant's cross met well by Haitley. It was going across into a ruck of players. It was turned towards goal and blocked on the line by Horniak. Good play by McCoy. He has Haitley over on the right. Comes past Horniak, and the referee appeared to be delaying giving that free kick. Can't think why. Whistle scarcely heard, but it's now with Houstra. He's away from Horniak this time. It's a promising position for Rangers. An awkward ball bouncing in front of goalkeeper Koba. I'm not sure it's what Houstra intended. Vidoslav Lavicka about to come on for Sparta. Rabets. And Nister has found space on the right. David Robertson going across quickly. Nister has got the better of him. Dangerous now for Rangers. The diving header from Nemetz. A great chance now for the second. That's brilliantly saved by Andy Gorham. The save from Czerny may well keep Rangers in the European Cup. Well, disappointment there, clearly, for Pavel Czerny. This chance was set up for him by the good work on the right by Meester, and that was brilliant goalkeeping by Gorham. The rebound rifled wide of the target. Well, Meester did so well to get this ball pulled back into danger area. Nemetz missed with a flying header, but it broke across here for Czerny. And a reflex save from Andy Gorham, which may well be crucial to Rangers' hopes of proceeding in the competition. Czerny again. Siegel. Nemetz. Taking the ball for a run, probing for an opening. Rabets gives one option on the left. Siegel gives one on the right. Here's Nemecek, taking on Goff. Down goes Nemecek, and appeals for a penalty kick dismissed there. The linesman is coming up to make a substitution, and I think that's a major let-off for Rangers. Well, Nemecek showing some excellent close control. They tried to go past Richard Goff, who didn't appear to me to play the ball. I think they've settled on 1-0. They'll be prepared to take the Czechs on at Ibrox in 2 weeks' time with that deficit. And that's what it will be. There goes the final whistle. Rangers losing the first leg of this European Cup tie in Prague by 1-0. The goal, a piece of inspired play from Nemetz in the 20th minute. Rangers then under the cosh for long periods, but they came back with a good flurry towards the end before again Sparta made that big effort towards the end. There was the penalty claim when Goff challenged Nemecek, and a great chance passed up by Czerny with a superb save from Andy Gorham, which may prove crucial in the end. So Rangers with this vital game to come in 2 weeks' time, in with a fighting chance, but against a very good side. It's Sparta 1, Rangers 0.
Well, first of all, the result gives us an opportunity when we go back to Ibrox to do something, so we can't complain about that. And as far as the performance is concerned, I felt we could have been a bit more positive than we were when we started the match, when we started to pass and try and keep possession of the ball and slow the game down a little bit. And it meant then they would never really get into any impetus in terms of attacking. We never got the full-backs forward, we never got a lot of the ball into the box, and really in the first half only had an Ali McCoist opportunity to look at in terms of attacking. So I was a bit disappointed in that respect.
What did you feel about the goal?
Well, we lost one, I don't know whether I can remember it, Dunfermline, a couple of seasons ago, to a cross. I felt it was very similar to that. The lad looked to come off the outside of his boot, you know, from where I was sitting, no benefit of a replay. And when that happens, it sometimes puts the goalie off, and I mean, Andy had no chance, it just dropped in at the back post.
So your feeling was that he was lucky rather than inspired, because he's a good enough player to do it if he tried it, you would think?
Well, if he tried it, I mean, he seemed to look up, and when it did come off his boot, it seemed to swerve slightly to the side. I thought he actually tried to play it into a player who was running into the middle of the goals, and it's dropped in for him. But I mean, that's just your luck.
What about your thinking for the second half? What was your approach for that period in the game?
Well, actually, at half-time, we did stress to them that we had once we got the ball played into midfield, we had to be a bit more positive and get the ball forward a bit more than we had been doing. We started to do that. We lost Ian Ferguson in the early part and brought on Ian Durant, who did well for us actually in a bit further forward area. So that was kind of ruined. Ali McCoy did well to stay on in the game as long as he did do, because he had taken a nasty ankle injury in the first part of the match. So he did well, and we basically just wanted them to try and get forward. And I felt in the second half of the game, for a maybe 20-minute period, we started to put them back a wee bit and start to threaten their goal a bit more than we had done in the game. But then again, when you look at the last 10 minutes or so, they started to come back into the match, and they had a few things near the end. So all in all, although you're never happy to lose a match, we've lost it in a manner that gives us an opportunity in the next game.
Walter Smith, philosophical in defeat. Now, I watched the game coming in this afternoon, Derek. I've heard reports elsewhere that Sparta are a poor side and Rangers should have beaten them. I can't agree with that. I thought Sparta were a very useful side.
Well, having watched the game earlier on, the whole game live, Dougie, I feel like they weren't a bad side. They're a good, hard-working side with 3 or 4 very, very good individualists. But they loved to play with the ball. They were good passers of the ball, and really, they gave Rangers a hard game.
So what are the chances for the return leg then? Well, Rangers haven't scored a goal away from home, which is always important.
Well, when you go away from home in Europe, Dougie, you always want to give yourself a chance, as Walter says, in the second leg at Ibrox. And you feel Rangers did create 2 or 3 chances, and I've got the feeling they're going to do the same at Ibrox, but they're going to have to stick them away. You've still got to fancy Rangers. Yeah,
but once Sparta, I mean, we've got this old situation of Sparta score, Rangers have to score 3, and that's the danger, isn't it?
Well, defensively, if they give nothing away, it won't be there, let's all rush forward and try and get a goal. It's just got to be very, very patient to get that 1 goal back.
Let's take a look at the goal then, which decided the match, scored by, I think, possibly the game's outstanding player. I don't know whether you'd agree, Derek, Yuri Nemec. But did he mean it?
Well, he was all over the pitch today. He wasn't a right winger. He was at left back, right back, centre back. And I agree, I tend to agree with Walter Smith. He's looked up, the big striker, as you see, peeled off to the just tried to pick him off, and the ball skidded off his foot.
He said after the match he didn't mean it. He actually admitted after the match.
Not an honest footballer.
No, an honest footballer. He said no, it was meant to be a cross. So we put that down to a bit of luck on Sparta's part. But Nemec and his international teammate Nemecki are both very, very good players. They link up so well in midfield.
Well, we're saying that they love to keep the ball, Dougie, and that's what it's all about in Europe. Don't give the ball away, and it's all stuff on the deck. There's no these long high punts up the field. As soon as they get the ball, there's always men there to pass the ball to. They're all in little triangles. Love to keep that, but all look comfortable on the ball, and 2 or 3 of them very, very skillful indeed, that could cause Rangers problems in the second leg at Ibrox.
And these are the 2 players we'll have to watch in particular, Nemec and Nemecek. Andy Gorham, whatever you think of the first goal, and there was a hint that perhaps his positioning was at fault, but he did have 2 great saves, didn't he?
He did. You can't fault him with his saves, and he's played superbly, as he did in Bern last week. This one's an incredible save. He makes sure he doesn't get behind number 11 there. Look, he gives himself a bit of room, sees the ball coming in, and that's a tremendous reflex save there. He's up again, look. And Gary Stevens on the line there just to make sure the ball's going wide.
Now Rangers, of course, very nearly got off to the ideal start with almost a goal in the opening minutes. Made beautifully by Ali McCoy, wasn't it?
Well, it was all down to himself. He turned his man beautifully and left him standing there and cut inside another defender. He was unfortunate he hit another defender with his shot. Possibly was going, we don't know, but that would have been a different Rangers performance had that gone in.
Yes, it would have made all the difference, obviously, that early goal away from home. And then towards the end, well, Mark Hateley up there. McCoy's getting the shot in, which came off a defender's face.
It was debatable where it came off his face. McCoy's certainly shouting for a handball, but it's like everything else, when you don't score, you're looking for a penalty, aren't you?
Perhaps Ian Ferguson lucky to stay on the pitch after that foul early on?
I would think so. He was a wee bit high with the time, very, very rash. That was the penalty incident there, Richard Gough. It was a bad angle for us to see, but it certainly looked as if he played the man's feet first there. Very lucky to get away with that, yeah.
All right, so overall, Rangers certainly still in with an excellent chance in the return leg. Well, let's take a look at the other results tonight in the European Cup, and there are plenty of them. US Luxembourg 0, Marseille 5, no problems there. Jean-Pierre Papin getting 2. Brøndby 3, Lisbon 0. Kishpesh Budapest